Well, Kaz, when you were saying how the Eagles have all of these Pro Bowlers and they only scored 22 points, and yes, it was without A.J. Brown, and so I do think that factors into them not hitting that automatic 28 that you were alluding to. But the reason why I bring that back up is you were talking about all the Pro Bowlers the Eagles have and how they still lost, and it just felt like deja vu for me, or maybe not deja vu, but very similar. Because the San Francisco 49ers lost 23-17 in Minnesota. And Kevin has been waiting 35 minutes for this moment. So here we go. But the Vikings beat the 49ers 23-17 in Minnesota. And this game happened without Christian McCaffrey, who was placed on the injured reserve this past week with a calf/Achilles injury that obviously led to him missing week 1 against the New York Jets. That was a bit of a game time decision, late scratch. Jordan Mason basically indicated after the game, and I know you guys talked about it plenty last week, but Jordan Mason basically indicated that he had been getting ready to start that game since Friday, but the 49ers didn't release the news till Monday. Then the McCaffrey injury got worse this past week, and now he is out for at least 4 games the next 3 after Sunday's game. So anyways, all of that said, the Vikings beat the 49ers 23-17. It was the 49ers' 8th consecutive game in Minnesota that they lost, dating back to 1992. Last year on Monday Night Football, without Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams, that was not an anomaly. It just contributed to the streak. Cheers, Kaz. Enjoy this shot in honor of the Vikings. But anyways, this game felt very reminiscent to everything Kaz was saying in regard to the 49ers were missing 1 of their Pro Bowlers. Now they're going to be missing 2, but in this game, they were missing 1. And they lost 23-17 to their former backup quarterback, Sam Darnold. And, you know, Toddy, I'm just dumbfounded by this loss because it seemed like to me, and I'll give my analysis further later on, but to me, it just seemed like the 49ers seemed to just play with their food a little bit, like, oh, yeah, we can not do shit for 3 fucking quarters and then try to make a comeback, which they did late in the game. But then Sam Darnold and the Vikings basically iced it with a 6-minute drive in the 4th quarter, which led to a field goal. They go on to win the game by 6 points. But Jaevon, from your perspective as a 49ers fan, before we hear from the Eagles fans that are just waiting for their opportunity to speak on this segment, Toddy, what was the reason for this loss in Minnesota for the 8th consecutive time, but 2nd straight year? And they did it this time with Deebo Samuel, with Trent Williams. And so why did the 49ers lose this game? And I'll be right back as I'm going to use the bathroom.
Yeah, no, Niners couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. I think whenever it was like 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13, 3rd and long, basically, Vikings were able to just – there's a guy running wide open in the middle of the field. We go for it on 4th down, don't get it. A couple plays later, Justin Jefferson's running for a 97-yard touchdown. I thought that was definitely a difference in the game. But we were able to force the guy who sole purposely kept us in this game was Fred Warner, forcing 2 fumbles and having an interception in the game. He was literally changing the game by himself. So for the non-believers that somehow believe or think that Fred Warner is the best linebacker in the game, I'll just tell them to watch the tape. But there were just a bunch of just dumb things that the Niners were doing that we just kept like, oh, it's okay, we'll be able to get it back. And the Vikings were able to score off of those turnovers. It was a shock to see. Brandon Ayuk, come on, man. We paid you $30 million. We need you to start showing up, especially now that Deebo Samuel is going to be out and Chris McCaffrey is also out. You need to start making plays like you $30 million. I mean, I saw a guy on the other side of the field who makes $35 a year, and he's out there grittying in the end zone, running for 100 yards. Like, that's what it's supposed to look like when it comes to, okay, you're a top 10, you're the top 1, the guy, the number 1 receiver. That's what that looks like. So, Brandon Ayuk, I need you to start chipping in. You got to start putting it, because right now you missed all of camp. It shows, and we need you to start showing up. Yeah, Niners weren't really able to get off on third down. I feel like that was a key thing. We didn't have any timeouts at the end of the game. Like, what are we doing, Kyle? Can we manage the game better? Yeah, I just think there's a bunch of things that can get cleaned up over time. Obviously, we are injured. Purdy doesn't suck. He threw for 319. I mean, he was one of the top leading passers all.
Yeah, Johnny, go to bat for your boy.
But no, yeah, I just think the Niners have a bunch of things that they got to clean up. There were times where I thought Jordan Mason played really good. A lot of good things happening. We got Hufungus supposed to be coming back soon, so yeah, I mean, we lost to Sam Darnold. He was on our team, and yeah, it was we can't win in Minnesota for some weird reason. I don't know why. But I think this is it'll be a great bounce back opportunity going to the Rams next week on Sunday and Levi South, as they like to call it. Got to play better. No ifs, ands, or buts, but Niners will be all right.
They certainly do need to play better, and I do agree that they will be all right. But, Kevin, am I wrong? Are the 49ers in trouble right now? Because they're already missing Christian McCaffrey, the reigning, defending Offensive Player of the Year. Could have easily made a case for MVP last year, but the Offensive Player of the Year. And now they're also missing Deebo Samuel, a Pro Bowler, such a great player that they literally invented a position for him called the wide back. 49ers are missing them, and that's just the guys who are officially out, because there's probably plenty of guys who are already banged up after 2 weeks. So, Kevin, as 49ers fans, should we be concerned?
Hell yeah, you should be concerned, because what did Toddy just say? You said 30 M's, right? 30. Justin Jefferson, he makes 35. He went for 133. CeeDee Lamb makes 34. He went for 90. Amon Ra, 30. 119 yards. Brandon Ayuk. Damn, it's so far down there. 43 yards? You're telling me he was catching the ball through the tree and that didn't translate? You're telling me all the sit out and all that was for what? For you to come out and do this? We have the wide back running routes. I'm seeing red zone alerts for Deebo 45. I'm like, the Niners are cooked. Deebo Samuels is running routes. Oh, my goodness. There's no jet passes. There's no bubbles. There's no Jennings passes. Oh, yeah. That means Brandon Ayuk is not up to speed. But we want to talk about not stopping a nosebleed. This man was getting paychecks on the 15th of the month. San Francisco 49ers. Thank you for your service, sir. You're moving on. Goes down to Minnesota. Kevin O'Connell, the best receiver in the game. Why not? Toddy told me earlier he was the third pick for a reason, Kevin. For him to go out there, 268, 2 touchdowns. There were probably what? The last 1 minute of you were like, fuck, we might lose this game. The guy to my right and to my left, what? 20, 35 minutes? Fuck. We not winning this game. You know, ours was taken at the end. They went into half saying, Toddy had to, it was sweating in their boots.
Clown mask.
Sweat, call them clowns. Toddy said, we ain't who we supposed to be. We out here saying this and we doing this. 2 years in a row. The last time y'all went to Minnesota and won, television was black and white. So what will change anything? And people are thinking, Kevin, you're just a hater. Sunday morning, when them picks came out, you saw the skull. Everyone else had the Niner. You saw the skull. Kevin, what made you pick them?
Politics.
Purdy is gonna Purdy. You know? Time to put your dick on the line. Throwing the interception. You know, when they needed it most. You're telling me we're gonna pay you 60 M's next year and you're losing to your backup The dude who used to signal in calls just beat you. Y'all flew all the way to Minnesota to play your backup and lost. Yeah, the Vikings did everything possible to lose this game. When they fumbled on the goal line, I said, God damn it, they had it. They were so close. The Niners were going to go down here. They were going to score.
Yeah.
But no, you go for it on 4th down, and you don't get it. So, yeah, ha-ha, Eagles. I was in my boots for 1 minute and 5 seconds. You guys were in your boots for 35 minutes. That's all I'm going to say. So the Niners should definitely be worried because they have the injuries coming up. And now, Brandon, you wanted to be the number 1 receiver. You wanted 30 M's. Now we're going to have to see it.
Well, Khalil has not stopped despite us moving on segments, as he says, LOL, hey, Kev, my backup played better than your starting QB. And
who's Khalil a fan of? He's a Saints fan, yeah?
No, he's the Packers fan that you were going nuts with.
Oh,
in the comments.
Boy, what? You packed your bags to Brazil to come back with nothing but Malik Willis. So, Packers fans, I don't want to hear none of that Packers back shit. Because A.J. Brown had Justin Jefferson begging for help. So,
not Jefferson.
But just sit on that L.
Not Jefferson, Alexander.
Sorry, Alexander, excuse me. But
yeah.
Sit on that L, Khalil. I know it hurts. I know you were like Toddy wearing that Atlanta Falcons cheerleader jersey tonight. It's all good.
And shout out to cousin James, who says Purdy's picks were all tipped and slips. First picks were straight to the defense. Regardless of that James, comment,
you said all the picks were tipped. Picks. Doesn't matter if it was tipped or thrown to him, kicked to him. Picks. It's going the other way.
Well, I wanted to highlight James's comment just to give him a shout out because he sent us a photo to our fantasy group chat that him and the boys are tuned in to Stats Over Politics on the big screen and enjoying.
Hey, turn up. Turn the fuck up.
We appreciate you, James. Shout out to all the cousins.
Big turn up.
And so, yeah, it was tough for us 49ers fans, but Kaz, do you see it the same as Kevin? Or, I mean, are the 49ers going to be all right? What's your viewpoint on this loss?
You guys will be fine. You'll be fine. Here's the thing. This is going to be one of those seasons where teams that should be winning are going to lose a couple here and there, and then as the season progresses, they'll end up right where they're going to be. This week was crazy, all right? If you called –
It was.
If you called 85% of the games – if you do pick'ems, if you call 85%, you did. Come on, Kev. You call 85%.
Bro, check me out. Hold on.
The Raiders.
I want to know. Cowboys game.
You called that?
No, I missed the Cowboys game.
Oh, what'd you call?
I called the Raiders and Vikings.
That's big.
Out of hate.
Out
of
who
hate.
else?
Out of hate.
I lost the Colts. I picked the losers I had were the Colts, the Rams, the Lions, and the Cowboys. So I lost 4 games. So out of
there was a lot of upsets this week. It was big time. So last week I made my little videos. You know what I'm saying, on YouTube, whatever.
Out of hate.
So last week I was like I picked a lot of upsets. So last week I picked week 1. I was like, a lot of upsets, and I got called out from my YouTube channel. Right. This week I'm like, you know what? I'm playing safe. You know what I'm saying?